Hi chat! Nintendo recently released the first little teaser trailer for Pokemon Winds and Waves, as well as a new starter Pokemon, and I thought it would be a fun idea to try and imagine what the final evolutions might look like. And I also decided to take the speed paints that Clipsio Paint records for me and make a video out of it to share my ideas and thoughts with you all. This is my first time designing Pokemon from scratch, and it was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. I have criticized Pokemon in the past for their design choices a few times and how I would have changed them personally, but I didn't expect that coming up with ideas myself and executing them would be this difficult. One more thing before I finally talk about my Pokemon. I only drew the final evolution of each starter because I didn't have any ideas for mid-evos. I had a hope that if I start with the final one, it might be easier to think of something for the second stage Pokemon. But nope. So only third stages for now. But anyways, let's finally start talking about my Pokemon that I designed. The first one I did is the final evolution of Pombon, the dog starter, the fire starter. And spoiler, this is definitely my least favorite I did of the three. I will talk about why in a second. My coworker, I was actually talking to someone at work, she said she is hoping that the fire starter is gonna end up a fire poison type, and I thought that was a really cool idea actually, because I would also like to see a fire poison type. So that's basically all I had to go off on when I first designed the evolution. I used Arcanine and some other dog Pokemon as like a guideline because I actually have never drawn a dog before and I have no idea about dog anatomy, and I think it shows. So yeah. I got so focused and tunnel visioned on trying to do decent dog anatomy that I kinda forgot in a way to add more details and to make him an actual like Pokemon design and not just a dog. So everything that I added feels kind of last minute and out of place. So basically, I just drew a big dog, and to incorporate the poison type, I thought it would be cool if he would create like poison sludge in its mouth, and it would drip down onto its paws. And the poison sludge is also like flammable, so if you like put a little ember spark on it, it would like create this big fire everywhere and stuff. And yeah, and to give it a little bit more contrast, I decided that the poison sludge as well as the flame that it's the tail is a flame, and I to create a more contrast, I would make it green because that would go really well with like the yellows and oranges and reds. Right now you might be thinking, but Lucy, this tail is clearly not green. That's because I forgot. I got so focused on trying to make the fire look like fire that Nintendo would do, because I tried to kinda emulate the Pokemon art style. Of course, not completely. My lines are completely wrong and everything, so it's a little bit more inspired by the Nintendo art style, but still like my style too. So yeah, I got so focused on trying to make the fire look like something Nintendo would do that I forgot to make it green. So later on I just did a color correction layer and I made it green. You might see me do that in a second. I don't know when it will come up in the timeline in the little speed paint. And yeah, I try to emulate the shading with like how it looks in the Pombon art. Usually I would use more saturated colors to shade. But yeah, I try to keep it looking like a Pokemon. I wish I would have added some like patterns in its fur and maybe change the colors a bit. Later on, when I went back to look at some official Pokemon evolutions and stuff, usually they undergo a lot of color changes when they evolve, and I kind of didn't do that with the Pombom evolution and the Brout evolution. Spoiler. So yeah, I wish I maybe incorporated another color, but I was thinking there's like the green and the red and the orange and a little bit of yellow, and like I didn't wanna bring in another color, but at the same time, actually maybe I should have used more of that light yellow I used for like the belly, or the yellow that I used for like the highlights and stuff, and maybe would have given him a little pattern over here and over there. So yeah, I think there's a lot I could have done better with my Pom-Pom evolution, but this was the first one I did out of the three, and the first fan evolution I ever did ever. So I think it's okay if it's not perfect. Toxhunt, the poison dog Pokemon. It secretes poisonous and highly flammable sludge out of its mouth, covering its paws and the floor beneath it. Once ignited, the battleground turns into a burning hellscape. For the shiny color, I went with a desaturated gray, and for the flame and the sludge, I went with purple. I think that really complements each other, and I think it looks really cool. I think my final design for my final evolution of Pom-Pom, like I said, is a little bit uncreative and basic dog Pokemon. And he looks like he's playing with slime. I don't know if it reads as poison or anything, but I don't know. He doesn't look like a final stage evolution. He looks more like the evolution of a Pokemon that only evolves once, and not like the evolution of a starter Pokemon. But it's okay. I still think he's cute. Next up, we got the final evolution of Sprout, and I'm way more happy with how he came out. I think he actually looks like a Pokemon evolution compared to my dog evolution. As you can see in the top left corner, there are my inspirations, and yes, one of my inspirations is in fact Neuvan. I also had more inspirations that I didn't put on the canvas. I had to just open in a tab in Google. So I also had tabs open for chimeras and gargoyles and griffins actually and stuff. And mainly my idea for my Sprout evolution was, what if I made a bird Pokemon, but I'm gonna make it completely different to all other bird Pokemons we have so far, and I'm gonna make a bird Pokemon that is walking on all fours. I'm gonna make a quadrupedal bird Pokemon. That's a really difficult word. So yeah, that's my main inspiration, and I did that. And yeah, I think he looks actually kinda cool. I don't have a specific bird species that my Sprout evolution is based on. I just drew something that I thought looked cool. I made him really angry. He's not actually angry, he just looks like he's angry. He's also a grass dark type. I thought it might be, cool. He is like a little angry bird in his Sprout form, so I thought, what if he gets angrier with each evolution? And that's the whole concept. Yeah, and I made him walk on all fours, and that's it. I do wish once again, with my Toxhunt, with my Pom-Pom evolution, I wish I would have brought in more different colors, and I wouldn't have just chosen the colors that Sprout already had. Especially because Sprout is such a simple design. I wish I would have brought in a few more colors, but I didn't. Yeah, that's maybe why people plan their Pokemon evolutions more. I just went in and I just drew something. If I ever do these fan evolutions again, I will definitely put a little bit more research in it, and maybe a little bit more planning on what colors to use, and maybe what species to base my bird Pokemon on or something. So yeah, I basically just color picked the colors that Sprout has, the yellow, the green, and the gray, and that's it. I mean, I did add a little bit of interest by putting some sticks and leaves into its feathers, whatever a bird has and stuff. And yeah, I was thinking about maybe giving it some patterns, but it kind of looked weird. I don't know what I could have done, but you in the comments could maybe tell me what I could have done else to put a little bit more, colors in it and stuff. But yeah, Also, for this one, I think might be the closest one that looks to how Nintendo colors their Pokemon, which I think looks pretty cool. I was really surprised that I was able to like kind of pull the art style off. I mean, my line arts are still way too thin for the Pokemon art style, but I'm really happy with the colors for this one. I think my design only works in that pose. I think if you would look at him from a front view, he would look kind of naked. Maybe I should have put some more feathers around him, maybe giving him some pants. I don't know. Yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult. He also doesn't look like a final evolution. He does look more like a mid-evo, maybe. I don't know. It's okay. Like I said, my first time designing Pokemon evolution, so it's okay. Braukera, the flightless bird Pokemon. After many generations of walking on the ground and crawling through the bushes, it no longer possesses the ability to fly. Its claws are very sharp and articulated. The shiny is pretty basic. I just made it brown, like dried up leaves, but I think it works really well. I was thinking about maybe doing a different color, like maybe something more reddish or, I don't know, purple even. But in the end, I think just brown works the best. Yeah, that's all I have to say about Braukera. Let me know what you think though. Last but definitely not least is my final evolution for Gekwa. I don't want to sound too overconfident, but I think I cooked with that one. I think this one actually looks the most like a final starter evolution out of the 3 that I did. And I'm really happy with that, because when I tried to come up with ideas for my starter evolutions, I had no idea for the water one. I didn't know what to do. And as you can see in the top left corner, I only had like a little screenshot of Primarina that I only used for like colors, not even like, design stuff. I had no idea. At first I wanted to do another quadrupedal Pokemon, like Swampert, but I thought maybe I should make something more feminine compared to my other 2 starter Pokemon and something more cutesy. So I went with a goddess or priestess kind of theme for my Gekwa evolution. So it's basically, a priestess. It's not floating, it's actually standing on its tail. And it has like this water staff, which I actually think turned out really cool. I suck at drawing water, but I think I did a pretty good job with that one. And all I did was squiggle and scribble and add some colors to it, and it was basically just luck that it turned out good. Also my Gekwa evolution is a water psychic type. I was thinking about doing fairy, but we already had a water fairy type with Primarina, so I thought psychic, because why not? I don't think we had a water psychic starter, but I also don't have all of the starters like in my head. I can't think of all of them right now. So yeah. Do I have anything else to say about it? At first, my little sketch of my Gekwa evolution was really plain, so I did add a few more things here and there. I learned from my Toxhund, my Ponbon evolution a little bit, and I tried to add more interesting stuff. Like I added some fins, and I added more little marks on the body. I gave it those weird little frilly things on its arms to make it look like sleeves. And the eyelids, they kind of look like tears to me. So at first I want to make them drippy and like there's water dripping down from them like tears. But I thought it would actually be cooler if instead of just normal plain eyelids, I could make an eye pattern on it, like fake eyes. They're not real eyes. They're just fake eyes, like the some of the bug Pokemon have. They have like these. Masquerain is a Pokemon I'm currently thinking of. Is it Masquerain? I don't know. There are definitely some bug Pokemon that have these fake eyes, and I thought it might be cool to have that too. And yeah, I think it makes it a little bit more also intimidating and not just cute, and I think that works really well. With the coloring, at first I just like with the other two Pokemon, I just picked the colors from Gekwa and I just applied them where I think it looks cool. But I actually decided that the coloring you see right now, is gonna be the shiny version. And for the actual coloring of my Gekwa evolution, I'm gonna switch the colors around. It's gonna be like a color switch. You will see that in a few seconds when I read the Pokédex entry. So yeah, I'm glad I decided to change that last minute. And now you can see me color in the staff, and I think it turned out pretty cool. I have no idea how I did that. But I made it look like water, and I'm still kind of proud of myself with that one. Yeah, I think this is definitely the best one of the three. Gekquest, the priestess Pokemon. Gekquest can purify even the muddiest of lakes. It then creates a staff out of the blessed water to use powerful water and psychic attacks against its opponents. Very boring description, I know, but I couldn't think of anything else. Also, yes, I know I forgot to color in the toes on the left foot. Don't look, I just noticed. Whatever. And yeah, now you can see the actual final coloring I did, and I think it looks good. Maybe I should have, for the other evolutions, I also should have, like, switched the color up a little bit more. Alright, here's one final look at my final evolutions for the new starter Pokemon. I'm open for feedback, not just on what you think on the Pokemon designs, but also if you would like to see more videos like that in the future, like long-form drawing videos. I mean, this video isn't really long, it's only like 16 minutes, about 16, 17, 18 minutes. But if you would like to see more longer videos where I design and draw Pokemon or stuff, if you do want to see more Pokemon videos of mine in general, you can check out my YouTube Shorts series, where I challenge myself to draw every single Pokemon in my sketchbook. And if I say every single Pokemon, I mean all 1025 of them. I'm not even 1/3 of the way there, but yeah, feel free to check that out. And I hope I can make more longer videos in the future too. Not just drawing related, but just videos in general, whatever I feel like making. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, Chad. And I will see you maybe in the next video, or maybe not. Bye.